Mississippi River Flood by Ia Child, Emma Prax, Ashlyn Peebs, Dylan Engler, Mitchell Kelly, and Lisa Dixon.
The Mississippi River flooded in April 1993. The flood lasted 135 days, and it killed 50 people. Next slide.
So what caused the flood? Basically what happened was there was months of heavy precipitation in the Midwestern states, and it lasted for about 9 to 10 months. This oversaturated the soil and made it so there was really high moisture, and because of this, the flooding lasted about 135 days straight. So 9 states that were affected by the flooding, as you can see on this map, were Missouri, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, and Missouri. So within each one of these states, there were a ton of rivers that flooded. Some more specific rivers that I was able to find were the Skunk River, the Iowa River, the Noise River, the Missouri River, and the Mississippi River. And some of these cities in here were also majorly affected. For example, the city Hull, Illinois, even though its location was 8 miles away from the river, it was still very flooded, and the vast area of surrounding farmland was also flooded.
The economic toll of the Mississippi floods were pretty significant. There were about $20 billion worth of damage, and it's known as one of the costliest floods in U.S. history. More than 50,000 homes were damaged.
Okay, going back to cost for a second, $20 billion is a lot of money. And kind of to compare that, I went through a brief time frame of the 1980s up until about now, where we can take a look at different costs of different natural disasters, and this ranks up there with hurricanes. Other disasters like droughts, severe weather outbreaks, freezes, blizzards, things like that, they don't really come close to what this flood costed over those months of flooding. A good comparison would be Hurricane Charlie in 2004, which was a Category 4 hurricane that affected three different states, but it only costed $6 billion more than this flood. And this flood actually wiped out tons of crops, delayed food production for months and months. And I have a picture up here that shows the before and after kind of overhead view of the Mississippi River and the Illinois River and the Missouri River and where they all merge. And it kind of gives a good look of how much swelling took place and how much flooding was there.
Levee in St. Louis! Oh my goodness. Levees were built in St. Louis to protect the city from flooding and water damage. However, in the case of this particular flood, nearly 700 failed, which was about 2/3 of the current levees in use. It's a really weird word, don't judge my pronunciation. Anywho, the one in St. Louis had increased flooding upstream due to there being a small exit to river downstream. After the flooding, the levees were rebuilt and reinforced. However, the damage was already done.
Lawsuits asked the Army Corps to resist building river training structures known as Chevrons. These structures degraded the river and the surrounding communities vulnerable. There were more than 40,000 feet of chevrons built in the 3 years prior to the flooding in 1993.
And here's our lovely works cited, proof that this isn't actually malarkey from anywhere on the internet. And finally, we are done! Thank you for coming and for watching, and bye-bye!